Have you ever wondered how Germany went from a broken nation after World War II to one of the world's most stable democracies? What makes its political system so unique, and why do some people call it strong, but also frustrating? Germany is a federal republic with 16 states. Power is shared between the national government and the states. The states handle local matters, like education and policing, while the national government controls areas such as defense and foreign policy. This system helps balance local independence with national unity. Sounds fair, right? But when everyone has a say, making decisions can be slow like a traffic jam on the Autobahn. In this video, you'll learn how laws are made step by step, why Germany's president is called a rubber stamp, and who really has the power. Stick around because today, we're uncovering the secrets of Germany's political system. Let's go. To understand Germany's politics today, we need to look at its past. So, let's begin with its political history. Germany's political history is a story of unity, division, and the struggle for democracy. In the 19th century, Otto von Bismarck united the German states under the German Empire in 1871. However, there was still a struggle between the king's power and democracy, as the Kaiser held significant power, while the parliament had limited influence. After World War I, the Weimar Republic was established in 1919 as Germany's first democracy. But it faced huge challenges like economic crises, hyperinflation, and political extremism. Many Germans lost faith in democracy, and in 1933, Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party came to power. Hitler abolished democracy, established a dictatorship, and led Germany into World War II. Germany lost the war in 1945 and was occupied by Allied forces. After the war, Germany split into two countries. West Germany was democratic and worked with Western countries. East Germany was controlled by the Soviet Union and had a socialist system. In 1949, West Germany created the Basic Law to build a strong and stable democracy. East Germany, however, was ruled by just one party, the Socialist Unity Party (SED). During the Cold War, Germany stayed divided. In 1961, the Berlin Wall was built to stop East Germans from escaping to the West. However, in 1989, peaceful protests led to the fall of the Berlin Wall, and in 1990, Germany was reunited. Now, let's move on to Germany's political system and see how power is shared and decisions are made. In Germany, the Bundestag is the heart of the political system. It is elected by the people through free and fair elections, and its members represent the German population. The Bundestag has three main tasks. 1. Legislation. It creates and votes on new laws. 2. Budget. It decides how the government spends money. And 3. Electing the Chancellor. The Bundestag chooses the federal Chancellor, who leads the government. The Bundestag is also a place for political debates, but most of the work happens in committees, where members discuss and prepare laws. The opposition, or the parties not in government, plays an important role by questioning the government and proposing alternative ideas. Germany's system is based on checks and balances, which means no one has too much power. The Bundestag is powerful, but its decisions are checked by other institutions, like the Constitutional Court. Now it's time to turn our attention to the executive branch, where the Chancellor and President share important powers. In Germany, the executive power is shared between two people, the Chancellor and the Federal President. The Chancellor is the head of government and has the most power, while the Federal President is the head of state and has a more ceremonial role. The Chancellor is elected by the Parliament, called the Bundestag, and needs support from the majority of its members. If no one gets a majority in the first round, the election goes to a second and third round. The Chancellor has a lot of power. They decide the composition of the government and the tasks of the ministers. The Chancellor can also ask for a vote of confidence from the Parliament. If they don't get enough support, the Parliament can be dissolved, and new elections can be called. Only 8 people have held this role since 1949, showing its stability. The President's main job is to represent Germany both in the country and abroad. The President can help resolve political conflicts. And if the Chancellor loses a vote of confidence, the President can call for new elections. But why is the President called a rubber stamp? Because their job is mostly ceremonial and symbolic, meaning they don't have much real political power. The Chancellor, who is chosen by the Bundestag, is the one with real power. The President signs laws, but can't stop them for political reasons. They also appoint and dismiss the Chancellor and ministers, but they must follow what the Parliament decides in terms of. They are expected to stay neutral in politics. Germany has a system called Chancellor democracy, where the Chancellor has a strong position. However, they must follow the constitution and cooperate with other political actors. It is difficult to remove a Chancellor, because the Parliament must choose a new candidate at the same time. This is called a constructive vote of no confidence, and has only happened twice since 1949. There is an important institution in Germany called the Bundesrat. It is not part of the Parliament, but it plays a big role in the legislative process. The Bundesrat is made up of representatives from Germany's federal states, and these representatives are chosen by the state governments. The number of votes each state has is based on its population. The votes cannot be split, which means a state must use all its votes for or against a proposal or choose not to vote. Every state has at least 3 votes. If the population is over 2 million, the state gets 4 votes. In a state with over 6 million people, the state has 5 votes. If the population is over 7 million, the state has 6 votes. The total number of votes in the Bundestag is currently 69. As mentioned earlier, the Bundesrat plays a key role in lawmaking. The states take part in the lawmaking process and in handling EU matters through the Bundesrat. It is important because it can block certain laws. If a law affects the state's rights and duties, the Bundesrat must approve it. For other laws, the Bundesrat can disagree, but if the Bundestag has enough votes, the law can still pass. Since no single institution can pass laws on its own, cooperation between the Bundesrat and the Bundestag is essential. Now, let's explore the step-by-step process of how a law is passed in Germany. Step 1. Proposal time. A new law idea starts with the Bundesrat, whose members review it first and can suggest changes or formally oppose it. Step 2. Bundestag debate and vote. The idea then goes to the Bundestag. They discuss it in small groups, tweak it, and vote 3 times to make sure everyone agrees. Step 3. Final check by the Bundesrat. If the Bundestag approves the law, it goes back to the Bundesrat for a final review. They can't change it now, just approve or reject it. Step 4. Compromise time. If the Bundesrat rejects the law, a special committee like a mediator team tries to fix the problem. If they still can't agree, the Bundestag can pass the law anyway. Step 5. Presidential signature. After both chambers approve the law, the federal president signs it, and it is published to become official. But why is the lawmaking process in Germany complicated? Many different parts of the government need to agree, which often leads to delays. For example, states, political parties, and even the courts can all block new laws. This makes it hard to pass laws quickly, as seen in the case of renewable energy, where disagreements between states about wind turbine locations have slowed progress. This complexity can make it difficult to make important decisions and changes in Germany, slowing down the process even further. Germany has another key institution, that plays a crucial role in maintaining democracy and the rule of law, the Federal Constitutional Court, located in Karlsruhe, southwestern Germany. This court makes sure that all laws in Germany follow the country's rules equals the Constitution. If a law breaks these rules, the court can say that the law is not valid. This court has a lot of power and can influence what the government does. But there is a problem. This court doesn't just check laws after they're written. It also gives advice to lawmakers while they are still writing the laws. Why is this a problem? Imagine there's a soccer game, and the referee helps one of the teams plan their strategies during the game. That wouldn't be fair. In the same way, when judges help lawmakers write laws, it gives them an unfair advantage. Critics say this blurs the separation of powers, which means the roles of lawmakers, judges, and the government get mixed up. But what is separation of powers? When we talk about the separation of powers, we mean that different parts of the government should have different roles, so that no single part has too much power. For example, lawmakers write the laws, judges check if the laws are legal. The government makes sure the laws are followed. Each part should have its own job, so that no one can gain too much power. If judges help write laws, these roles get mixed up, making it harder to trust that the system is fair. Why does Germany do it this way? Germany learned from its history. In the past, there was a time when too much power was in the hands of a small group of people, which led to the rise of the Nazis. To make sure something like that doesn't happen again, Germany has a system where all parts of the government check each other's power, so no one gets too much. This helps protect democracy and keeps the system stable. That is all for this video. Germany's political system is truly fascinating and complex, but it also plays a crucial role in maintaining the country's democracy. In the next video, we're going to dive even deeper. We'll explore everything from Germany's federal system and how power is shared to the challenges of power imbalances and reforms. We'll also take a closer look at how resources are distributed through Germany's financial equalization system, and of course, how Germany interacts with the EU. By the way, this was my very first video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for joining me on this journey.